Hello, in the next episode. Today I'm going to repair PlayStation 4 Slim and Xbox One S, which they came in for the no picture on the screen issue. I'm going to fix both of them, and maybe I'm a little bit sweat, as you can see, because now it's 34 degrees Celsius, so it's quite hot. In the workshop I've got about 26 degrees, so it's not so bad. So let's fix them. Alright, so this is the PlayStation 4 motherboard, and like I said at the beginning, when I plugged this to the telly, there was no picture on the screen at all. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to check the HDMI port, which looks very good. There's no bent pins. I can't see nothing wrong with it at the moment. See, all pins are not bent. Same this side. The port doesn't look like it's damaged or something. So let's go under the microscope and see what we've got here. Yeah, I'm going to check, if the pins on the back, if they're moving or not. So they are all looked attached to the motherboard. Yeah. Alright, just to confirm, I'm going to plug my HDMI port tester. So alright, so multimeter in the continuity mode, beep mode. Alright, now in this corner you can see the readings from the multimeter, so it's gonna be much easier than it was before. Alright, so let's test it. So pin number 1. And we've got it. Pin number 2. Yes. Pin number 3. Yes. Pin number 4. Perfect. 5. Good. 6. Good. Good. Perfect. Beautiful. Yes, we've got a beep. Nice. Nice. And we've got all traces connected. So it's not the HDMI port issue then. So now I'm going to test all those filters. If they are not bent, let's go under the microscope. So let's test first filter. And we've got it. Second one. It's good. Yeah. It's good. Perfect. Good. Alright, so they are all four are good. What I'm going to measure, I'm going just to check if we got a short on these big cups here. Here. Alright. I'm going to check that diode. And we have now bips. And this is like a resistor. And the resistor is good. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to test this HDMI IC, putting probe like that. So I'm going to set up my multimeter in the diode mode. And now let's have a look. So we've got 0.917, and the rest, this one and this one, they should have exactly the same amount. Maybe, you know, a little bit difference, but they should be almost the same. This one should be about 20, you know, millivolts less. So let's test it, yeah? So we've got 0.917. This should be the same. 0.917, yes, we've got it. This one also should be the same. Yes, a little bit different, but it's good. And now this one should be around 0.9. And we've got it. So, you know, it doesn't mean that this chip is good if you got all these readings correct. Yeah. So now everything looks fine from this side of the board. So, you know, sometimes all values can be good, but you know, the chip is faulty anyway, so only replacing that chip can help with the problem, yes. So let's flip the board over and let's have a look what we've got here. Oh, so I'm going to check that fuse, because in many cases that fuse is blown. And we've got 0.0, yes, it's not blown. I'm going to put in diode mode. Not in diode mode, in the I want it. Alright, so now it's a continuity mode. So you can hear beep, and it's, yes, the fuse is good. You know, the resistance of my wires are 0.4, 0.5, something like that. I'm going to check that capacitor. And look at this. Look at this. We've got a short here. Do you think it's the capacitor issue? Alright, let's check this diode and this cup in this cup. And we also got a short. So this diode is some kind of protection to protect the circuit. So do you think this is connected with this capacitor here? I think so, but I'm not sure. You know, I could inject some voltage here. You know, I could inject some voltage here. But what I'm going to do, I'm going just to remove this diode here. Alright, let me check the other diodes. This is the Zener diode. We can use this diode in the PlayStation 5 if you blow it, you know, accidentally, you can just replace with any diode from PlayStation 4. The Zener diode, this is, yeah. Now, let me check these diodes here. They are all good. So first what I'm going to do, I'm taking the hot air right now and I'm removing this diode. And we will see. (470°), airflow 80, and let's remove it. All right. Where is the band? The band is on the left side. All right. So let's check now if you got a short there, if you still got the short there. Nope. The short's gone. The short's gone. So let's go to this capacitor here and let's check if we got a short here. And nope. There's no short anymore on that cap. Alright, so there's no more short here. Yes, no more. You know, this cap can, you know, looks a little bit dodgy, but at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, I just short the probe with this fuse and that's why it beeps. So from this point, we could just leave it like that and it should work. But I'm going to replace that diode. You know, because of that diode, this diode protected this voltage regulator and it saved him, actually. So I'm going to replace, I'm going to put here another diode from my donor board. So I'm going to apply some flux here. Here I've got my diode. You know, you can take any diode actually from PlayStation 4 Fat, from PlayStation 4 Slim. This diode, this and this, they're all the same. All the same. The same is in the Fat. So here we've got the same diodes. This one, this one, this one. And similar to the Slim ones, this one. They are all the same, so you can take any of them and put into the correct place. So you don't have to have, you know, the PlayStation 4 Slim motherboard, exact number, to rob that diode off the board. You can just use any diode from the any PlayStation 4. Alright, before I'm going to take this diode, I'm going to test it quickly. I don't want to waste my time. And this diode is good. Alright, so we've got our board. Alright, so let's test it again. Still a bit warm. Alright, so now I'm going to go into the diode mode and test it properly right now. So every single diode should have, well, on the one side OL over the limit, and if I swap the probes, it should have some readings. Yes, and this is correct. This reading is correct, like every single diode here, because they are all the same. You see, values are very similar. They are all the same diodes. They are just to protect. As you can see, one end of the diode is here. This is probably voltage. Yeah, this is 5 volts, and they go here on the other side of the board, and these ends of the diodes are connected to ground. So this is just in case if something went wrong, it will blow one of the diode. But you know, usually this protection doesn't work. From my experience, it's very rare if this protection will help to prevent, you know, any more damage. Every single problem, you know, affect this HDMI transmitter, whatever you can call it, whatever you want to. For me, it's the HDMI IC, yeah, and it will go straight away to him and will blow him again. So the protection for me doesn't work. In this case, probably it worked, yeah, because it helped prevent, but we don't know if this console is already fixed or no. So I'm going to assemble this console back just to quickly test it, and then we will see. Alright, so this is the moment of truth, actually. So let's test it. Yes! Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. Yes. Alright, so I've just repaired PlayStation 4 Slim, and I'm going to repair Xbox One S with the same issue, exactly the same issue. No picture on the screen, nothing whatsoever. Even if we reset, you know, the graphic settings, everything, nothing. Alright, so the console is off. I can unplug it. Alright, so here we've got Xbox One S motherboard, which came in for the same issue. Can we see any damage to the HDMI port? You know, this port Looks good. So here's our retimer IC. Yeah, let's check the pins on the back of the port. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to change multimeter to the diode mode. So it's very similar situation to the PlayStation 4. So I'm going to put one probe on one trace and another probe to another trace and measure or like that in the pair. So here we've got 1.738. So in this case we should have all the same values on each rail. If we got different values, that means this chip is bad. So let's check this here. 1.773. Alright, and this should be exactly the same. And what we've got? Oh, 1.4. So it's no good. And this the same. So that means those rails 1 and 2 are shorted. Let's check the last one. And you see, like I said at the beginning, this reading should be in all pairs exactly the same. We've got exactly the same values on the first pair and on the last pair. You see? First and last. But we got different readings here. So that tells me HDMI IC is bad. And this is the reason why we don't have a picture on the screen. Alright, so let's replace it quickly. You know what? I'm going to show you that, you know, the HDMI retimer ICs from Xbox One X, they fit to Xbox One S. Even if they got different, model numbers, they fit. But you know, if you want to go into the other way, you want to fit, HDMI retimer IC from the Xbox One S to Xbox One X, it won't work at all. But in different way, you know, the retimer IC from Xbox One X should work on Xbox One S. So as you can see on the microscope, this is the model number. It's very hard to see. I'm going to wipe it with the isopropyl alcohol. So this number, as you can see, 75DP159. I've got the HDMI retimer IC from this model, but to show you, I'm going to replace that chip with Xbox One X. Actually, so I'm going to replace it with this IC, and this model number, as you can see, maybe it's hard to see. See, it's TDP158. So this chip from Xbox One X, I'm going to replace with the Xbox One S broken ones. .470 degrees, 80 airflow, Okay, so normally, you know, when you use Xbox One S HDMI retimer ICs, they've got, you know, the readings about 1.7. As you could see, the first, you know, the first pair was 1.73, something like that, and this is good. But if you use, you know, if you use the Xbox One X retimer ICs, you've got different readings here. So there's no 1.7, it should be 0.92, 0.93. Alright, so I'm going to test it right now. And the all pairs, they should have exactly the same readings. Now the chip is a bit warm, it's still warm. As you can see, it's rising. Reading is rising. Alright, so, and all of them, they should have exactly the same. You see? The same values. The same and the same. Alright, so let's put it back together and test it. Alright, so this is the moment of truth. Can we see any picture with the Xbox One X HDMI retimer IC? And yes, we've got a picture. You know, problem is with this, you know, capture card. I had already set up this for full HD, not for 4K resolution. This is the problem, yeah. Alright, never mind. What I'm going to do, I'm going to plug this to the telly and show you straight away. Alright, so I'm going to test it on the telly. So now we've got 4K resolution. Go here and look at this. You see, it's a 4K resolution. As you could see, I've used the chip from Xbox One X on Xbox One S. And it works. It's working fine. 4K resolution, everything is with the no issues at all. Yeah, so if you don't have at home or wherever, if you don't have HDMI IC for Xbox One S, you can use from Xbox One X. They are a little bit cheaper on the market. As you know, the China price is about $10 per one chip for Xbox One X. But for Xbox One S, It's about $12, so it's $2 more expensive. So instead of buying, Xbox One S HDMI retimer ICs, you can buy Xbox One X and you can fit it without any issues to Xbox One S. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time.